Hi, I'm Heather Warlick, and today I'm visiting with Devin Dennie. Devin and his colleague, Todd Kent, a videographer out of Dallas, are in the finishing stages of producing a new documentary, Oklahoma Rocks. In the documentary, the two investigate the history of Oklahoma through its rocks. You're in the finishing stages of polishing that up, editing it. So tell us, what is this documentary all about?
The documentary is about, in the simplest terms, it's about the story of Oklahoma. But we don't stop at sort of the point when people come to Oklahoma. We go way back. Matter of fact, we go 1.4 billion years back. Okay, so we're really talking about how Oklahoma came to be, how it was formed, and that comes through the geology, through the rock record. Many of the landscapes around Oklahoma, they have different character. We've got hills and we've got plains, we've got rivers and streams and springs, and they all have different stories. And that's sort of what we're doing with the documentary, is we're trying to tell that story.
So it's kind of a cold case investigation, like you say in the documentary, but it's really cold.
Can't claim that quote, but absolutely. Earth science is a detective story, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to use the clues that the Earth has left us over time to try and piece together what's happened. Much more of the history of Oklahoma is gone that we'll never see, that we actually see in the rock record, and that's because erosion is constantly fighting against us. It's taking all of our good information in the rocks and moving it into the Gulf of Mexico, little bit by bit. But geologists want to work out the history, because it tells us a lot about where we've come from as a state. It tells us a lot about the things that have happened.
So what are some of the lessons that you've learned about Oklahoma's history just by studying the rocks over the last couple years?
Well, I've been in Oklahoma for a number of years, and it never ceases to surprise me how much diversity there is in the rocks and how many different things have happened throughout time here. Most people think of Oklahoma as a southern plains state. It's kind of flat, it's kind of windy. Okay, but there's actually there's actually a lot going on underground. You can see it every day. You drive down the highway, you see an oil rig or a natural gas rig. You can see coal mines in eastern Oklahoma. These things are there for a reason, and we've sort of worked out why, and the story is pretty fascinating, really.
It's interesting that you mentioned to me Oklahoma has everything from dinosaur fossils. We were underwater, so we have, a reminder of that in other fossils across, the state. You said that we have more historical diversity as far as the geology goes than almost any other state.
Yeah, it's really pretty surprising. Oklahoma holds its own as far as having things happen to it. Some of these things were kind of quiet, peaceful things. We've had oceans come in. You can find rocks in Oklahoma that have fossils that are found, in places like the Caribbean or the Gulf of Mexico today. Obviously, we don't have an ocean here today, but we did at several times in Oklahoma's past. In addition to that, some tumultuous things have happened. We've had collisions of continents that have come together and bent and broken the rocks into these large chunks, and they've moved up and down and left and right, and a lot of those things have created the different places in Oklahoma that we sort of see. A lot of those places are the places we like to go hang out on the weekends with the family, or would take road trips to. Just a few of the places. Wichita Mountains National Wildlife Refuge near Lawton is a field of boulders of igneous rock, which formed from molten magma that cooled deep in the earth hundreds of millions of years ago. And it's an odd, sort of unique place. You go, and of course now you can see the buffalo walking around the rocks, and there's other reasons to enjoy it. But the story behind it is unique to Oklahoma, and that's sort of what we're getting at with our documentary.
Well, you've actually done a great job, from what I've seen of the documentary so far, of taking what could be kind of a boring topic, rocks, and making it really interesting. And so what exactly are you hoping to do with the video?
Well, our company is called Explore Multimedia, and it's a nonprofit educational company. And what we do is earth science educational video. And what we want to do is now that we've made this product, We want to get it out in front of the public in as many different local viewings as we can across the state. And we also are exploring avenues for getting a copy in every high school science teacher's hands in the state of Oklahoma. Just to let our kids know and their parents know that there are stories that are sort of a fabric that underlie everyone's life in Oklahoma, and they all come out of the ground. You know, we're attached to the earth in ways we don't even fully appreciate.
That's great. Well, good luck with the documentary, and for more information about Oklahoma Rocks, I've written an article for the Science and Health section of the Oklahoman, so you can read that. And it's also going to go into some of the interesting places across Oklahoma that you can take your family and see some of the history of Oklahoma through the rocks.
Absolutely.
So, thank you for being here, Devin.
Thank you very much.
All right, and I'm Heather Warlick, and thank you for watching.